Hail, Pandawans! ABC to you all. Another beautiful Christmas. Ho, ho, ho. I'm not calling anyone out there. Yeah, I thought I would do this Sunrise with Samwise video here for you. A Christmas morning present that you wake up, you can find it not hanging from your mantle or under the tree, but in your computer, lurking. All right. Anyways, I wanted to say I got a lot of people sending me from Dragonflight, one of the quest givers. Had a quest ABC, always be crafting. Yeah, we know where that comes from, right? The influence of ABC is throughout the realms, digital and real world. Also, many people said congrats on my anniversary. That's what is it now? 31 years at Blizzard. Yes, an anniversary, of course. I started in '91, and yeah, I got. Don't they usually give you parole at 25 years? I guess the board doesn't think that I have the what do you call it? The parole board doesn't think I'm ready. I'm not rehabilitated yet. So, all right, maybe next time. All right, back to the cell. Anyway, so I got some questions on the YouTube channel. I think one might have been on Instagram, also on LinkedIn too, which is kind of funny. I never really go there, but the question started simple, and I noticed a couple of the questions tied together to an even bigger one. So we're going to try to blaze through this because this video ain't too long. The first tip was they're asking, like, do you have any tips for drawing hands? And basically, I'm answering now. It's like, no, I mean, well, you can see people's hands, draw them, and learn all the different poses of hands. But I tend to just, there's a few poses of hands that I can kind of go to on the regular that serve the purpose. If I wanted to be better at hands, I could devote more time to drawing them. But with every person, there's only two hands, and most of the time, like in this picture with Santa Claus here, sorry, I'm not even talking about what I'm drawing. This is my Christmas character, Santa Claus, Claws, or maybe Klaws, haven't figured it out yet, but he's one I've been drawing for years, sort of like a demonic Santa Claus with claws for hands, but he's got his bottle there, he's holding a hand, the other hand's holding Frosty the Abominable Snowman's head. But I have a couple go-to hands that I can go to for poses, and if there's something unique I have to do, I can, look it up or look at my own hands and do it. But my style is more cartoony. I don't have to really be that accurate with my hands, whereas, some other artists have to. And then there was a comment about someone was mentioning when I draw, I think, do I have any go-to poses or faces for humans and stuff when I draw? And sure, yeah, there's certain heads and poses that I go to that I've drawn, hundreds of times and stuff like that. But a lot of that's just for concepts, right? So I'm not trying to be expressive or creative. The idea of a concept, and this goes into sorry, let me jump to their comment too. They noticed that a lot of times I'll have like a hand up and a hand down and a foot forward and a foot back. One's turned sideways so you can see the side of the foot, one's to the front. And that's because I'm drawing a concept. And the concept is not meant for me to create this awesome, crazy, ninja pose where it's, expressive and all that. The concept is for the artist to build from. And it's hard to sit there and create artwork in 3D when you're, constantly going like, well, how many fingers does he have? Like, what's going on here? What's the side of his foot, this and that? I usually draw the line at the back. I don't draw the back of characters. I figure the artist that's creating it is an artist. Let him come up with the back himself and, feel a little ownership on that too. And a lot of times the back is what you see most. So it's time where you can add some cool stuff and be expressive. But it had me thinking, I'm like, yeah, my art has actually suffered a little bit because now my character poses are a little stiff or a little bit too, rigid. I'm not being as expressive. So that's something I want to work on. And then this other question that came up is like, do I work on my weaknesses? I'm like, good guys, are you guys like all chatting together and coming up with a barrage of questions? My weaknesses are the female form and environments. And, at work, at Blizzard, I never really had to work on my weaknesses too much because there's always people there. Like if I needed someone to work on an environment, I'd ask Peter Lee, who's just phenomenal at environments. Or if I needed someone to, work on female forms, or sometimes mechs are not my strength either. I'd go to like Mr. Jack or Roman Kenny. He used to draw all the female forms back in the old days. Um, but usually, you can't always do that, and sometimes I do want to work on, um, a female character. And I think what I did with the female characters is the ones that I worked on. Well, one, I didn't just choose any one and try to force my style onto it, but I picked ones that I thought would work with my style. Um, like the characters at work. Let's see, what did I? So a lot. Okay, so a perfect example is Maiev for in Warcraft. She's Illidan's jailer. She's a night elf, tall, beautiful, strong, but I basically put her in a head to toe foot sorry, head to foot armor, right? That's what I'm trying to get at. But she was this cool character. Like, you don't really see a character, or at least back in then, in a female character in full armor that was just this friggin' ball whomper character. Another one was Parvink from the Warcraft TCG game, made it into Hearthstone. She was this little pink-haired pom-pom gnome with this giant two-handed sword, and was just this lethal fighter. Great card to play too, everyone said. Her moniker I gave her was the Pink Lady. It sounds kind of silly, but it's also regal at the same time. And she was just this powerful character and powerful card, but she was a 3 foot tall gnome, with pom poms. Characters like Lunara and Sergeant Hammer from created specifically for Heroes of the Storm. Lunara's got this sort of beautiful night elf-esque torso, but she's got giant horns coming out of her head and leaves for hair, and a deer body. And Sergeant Hammer is this giant siege tank, but we added Sergeant Hammer, who pops out, who's this just big, tough, rough and tumble kind of Southern girl. If you ever seen Archer, she's kind of like Pam Poovey, but not as naughty. And then what else? I guess like with the Zerg, if you played Heart of the Swarm, Isha was was Kerrigan's like advisor kind of, and Zagara was like her lieutenant and enemy at the time too. But they both have feminine forms, but they're horrific and monstrous. And like that was me taking something that was weakness and kind of spinning it into more my own strength zone. Like I really liked creating them, and they turned out to be great characters. But you don't want to sit there if the king and queen have this young princess, and then you make her like this 8 foot tall monster. It's like, no, you got to make the character for what the role is. You don't want to try to force something, but where I can, I'll try to find the things that combine a strength with my weakness, and I can really get into it. Yeah, I mean, a lot of the times I will go out of my way to create something that's not in my style or not my zone, and when I finish it, it's like, great, I finished it, but it's not. I look at it at the end, and I'm like, I should have just done my own style. I've been more happy. I like to draw what I draw. I always joke that I'm like the bands Kiss or AC/DC or Manowar. They have a limited tool set, but they've had endless years of creation and some just effing awesome songs. A lot of you probably don't know Manowar, but everyone knows AC/DC, and I'm sure a lot of you know Kiss just from their visuals alone. Like, a lot of my visual art style has been based on Kiss. Lots of colors and theatrics, and a little bit of humor or horror or whatever it is, and AC/DC, just makes the best rock and roll music. And they use the small crayon box of colors. They don't stray out, no keyboards, nothing like that. But damn, everyone knows their songs. They play them at sporting events. They're on commercials. They're on the radio. Or at least now on the digital radio. I don't know if there's any more radio stations. But yeah, I like to take, what the gods of rock and roll have done and do the same with my art, where it's creative and all that, but it's not, I'm not laboring over trying to compose something that's not going to be something I want to do anyways, or what I want to listen to, or what I want to look at. I want to make what I want to make. I like to draw what I like to draw. And for a job, you have to do what the job needs. But especially artists out there, when you're creating your own personal stuff, don't be chasing what other people are doing or trying to change your style to fit theirs, because that's the one that's in now. You got to, keep your ABC, always be creating, keep your style going, because you're never going to be someone else's style. That's theirs, but no one else will ever be yours, right? All right, well, I think we're getting pretty close to the end of this video here, so I wanted to wish everybody a Merry Christmas. Have a great time with your family, friends, loved ones, pets, kids. Hope you get some good presents, and I hope you gave some good presents too. And I hope this Christmas morning video, you guys enjoyed it. My present to you. The new year's starting. It's been a while, since I'd done a video, since I think the end of October, but we're back in the mix now, and we'll see you in the new year. So ABC Pandawans, awesome, beautiful Christmas to you all. We'll talk to you in the new year. Hail!